Good. Nice to see you, Wendy.
Nice to see you, man. Andre's here. Yay.
Andre, hi. And Shubhada. Well,
Hello.
hi.
जय श्री
Hi,
माता दी।
Shivada.
Hi, Shubda.
हाय आंटी जय श्री माता जी।
Jai Shri Mata.
Carrie, hi.
Hi, Carrie.
All right. Sudeep, hello.
Hello.
How are you, Sudeep? It's so nice to see you.
Oh, good to see you, Jai Shri Mata ji.
Jai Shri Mataji. Is that a beard, a budding beard growing there?
Trouble? Yeah.
It's very sophisticated.
It is, yeah.
Oh, thanks. I didn't think it was noticeable, so
Okay, well,
but it might come off very soon. So.
all right. It has that Hollywood look.
Oh, okay. Maybe it'll stay for some time then.
I don't know. Sia, hello.
हाय सिया माता जी हेलो।
Glad you could be here in person. I mean, in person, virtually. Okay, we're waiting for quite a few more, so hopefully they will.
I'm already happy with this little crowd gathered around.
Exactly.
We need the collectivity to just kind of make everything go well in the programs for sure. How are you, Sia? How are you
I'm
doing?
fine. I had this amazing Europe trip to Crete, an island in Greece, to Hungary, reconnecting with family that was long lost, like 30 plus years, and then
Wow.
Holland to pick up my daughter. So it was a massive tour.
Wow, nice. Great.
Yeah.
Were they glad to be found by you?
Yeah, I mean, it was really a very emotional, you know, when you are running around as a mini family for 30 years, always coping on your own, and suddenly you go somewhere and there's like a whole bunch of people that are related to you. It's pretty overwhelming, actually. Yeah.
Hi, Sankita.
Jai Shri Mata Di, everyone.
Hey,
Hello.
Mataji. I'm
Hi,
glad
Sangeeta.
Hi,
you're
Andy. Good to see you.
glad your other meetings didn't interfere so far. Let's see. We are still waiting for.
How many are you coming? How many are you expecting?
Well, let's see. Still Sudeepa and Isha. That's actually all that I really hope will be coming. Although others might also join.
You want me to follow up with Isha and see if we should start or if she's coming? I could.
Okay. Sankita, can you reach out to Sudeepa? Yeah. You're already doing it. It's pretty scary how well we know each other at this point, actually.
The only people I know better are the people I live with, and I know how they like their tea. They know what they look like in a bathrobe with unbrushed hair. But other than that, I think we know you folks about that well.
Yep. I know Rahul has another meeting tonight, so he is going to watch the recording. And Shivani is in Australia, so that's not happening. And
Is she going to do a program over the summer anyway, or
no,
not?
no. She'll just
But she's gone all summer.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
So actually, quite a few people.
Thanks, Isha. So I guess we could go ahead and start. Maybe Linda. I don't know. Is it
Okay.
5 after?
It is. Yeah, Mark, are you recording?
He is.
It's for being okay. Oh, I see. Good. Alrighty. Okay. Well, actually, maybe we can start with a very short meditation. Let me grab a photo. Okay. And raise our Kundalini, give a bundle. Mataji, thank you for bringing us all together for this glorious project we're all part of. Please take us together into Samsara with you. Let's take the Sri Ganesha mantra. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Sri Ganesha, please take away any obstacles as we embark on this new dimension of offering the 21-day course. Please help us to listen always to your guidance. Let's take the mantra to Sri Radha Krishna. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Radha Krishna Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Please guide us and help us as we expand the collectivity in this program. We share the responsibility. Help us grow as we seek to please you in this. Bring our attention to Sasra. Mataji, please help us to be always connected. To receive your divine wisdom. Thank you. Okay. So, welcome, Sudeepa.
Hello, Auntie. Sorry I was late.
That's okay. I'm not sure everybody knows each other, so let's start there. Maybe everybody can turn on their video, would be nice. Well, I think everybody knows Wendy and me, right? Yep. Okay. Other
Oh,
than that,
we don't know who are you.
what do you mean?
Just kidding. We know. I mean, I know almost everyone other than Jason, I think.
Okay, well, that's just maybe people can go around and just say where they're from and whatever, a little something. So maybe, I mean, when do you want to say hi?
Yes, I'm Wendy. I'm from Los Angeles. Don't hold that against me. I have many good qualities. Yeah, so I can't tell you how beautiful it is to see all your shiny faces and know that you're here to help support directing the programs. That's amazing. Super happy.
Yeah. All right. I'll just go down the participant list as it is in mine. Sylvia?
Yeah, I'm Sylvia. I live in Virginia now, near 2.5 hours from DC, and happy to be here. I got a new notebook for this.
Oh, me
Fancy.
too.
Yeah, with a hard back, so I
Okay.
can really write hard. Ready to study.
All right. Mark? You mean?
When I first got married to Linda back in,
Wait, we can't hear you very well.
oh, right, the old,
Are you both sitting on opposite sides of that background?
wouldn't that be cool? Yeah.
I also
Anyway,
thought so, but they are not.
yeah.
A
So
different
in
story.
March 1991, we got married legally for my green card in Canada. And when I first went to Europe, they said, "Oh, you're Linda Taylor's husband." So here I am. I'm Linda Taylor's husband, and nothing better than being with you guys. And I'm in Teaneck, New Jersey, in the same house, different floor.
Yeah. But we got all these background things. We got a bunch of them. Let's put it that way. All right. Carrie.
Hello, I'm Carrie. I'm in Lafayette, which is a little town about 25 minutes from San Francisco.
Okay.
Well,
Sangeeta.
Hello, Jai Shri Mataji, everyone. I'm Sangeeta. I live in Connecticut and happy to see you all here. And I know all faces.
Yeah. I mean, maybe just say what you've been doing, Sangeeta, on 21 days.
Nothing.
Well, okay, that's true. But I mean, sort of. Okay, I'll say Sangeeta's been coordinating the tech team along with Pavan. So she's very active in the background and also been helping with mentoring and getting mentors and seekers connected in this area. All right. Oh, Andre, you're muted.
Hello, Jay Mataji. I'm Andre. I'm Romanian to begin with, and then French, and then Canadian, and then Dubaian, and then all these things. We live in the middle of Canada on the prairies, and it's been an incredible push forward to hang out with this August companionship, and we're trying to do our little thing to help.
All right. Great to have you. Shubda.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Shubhda and I'm from Champaign, Illinois. Originally, I'm from Delhi in India, and I'm just happy to be here with you all.
You want to say what you're doing for 21 days?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm a helping Auntie Linda with some Google Drive things, and yeah.
All right, I'll say she's graciously helping with the preparing the PowerPoints and the playbook and the whatever, all the contents of the Google Drive, and I think that also you may have noticed that she sent all of you a message asking for your schedules, and please respond if you haven't yet. We're trying to get the schedule together as early as we can because, well, for many reasons. So yes, very
I
grateful.
don't know if you noticed that Judith is wearing her halo. So she does more than she's letting on.
Yes. So yes, very much appreciating your help, Shubham. Thank you. And I asked her to come here because there may be some things that emerge that she can also help with here as well. All right. Let's see. Sudeep?
Sudeep Hegde, and so I've been leading for a while, and I live in Clemson, South Carolina. So yeah, it's pretty hot here.
Okay. All right. Sudeepa?
Hi everyone, Jai Shri Mataji. I'm Sudeepa from Florida and been part of the 21-day program. So happy to expand into a different area, I suppose.
Yeah, Sudeepa's also been on the tech team and she can do all the roles. And she is also, recently was very actively helping with the setting up of the workshops behind the scenes on Sundays. And anyway, she's been involved since the beginning.
And on the West Coast program as well. You came and helped out when Pavan decided to go to in-person meetings. How dare he?
Yeah.
They have a collaboration, Auntie. Sudeepa and Pavan. They
Keep
cover
switching.
each other.
Yeah, okay.
They
Definitely.
keep paying for each other's things. So
Yes, it's Sudeepa to the rescue very often. All right.
And likewise. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Jason?
Hi, I'm Jason. I'm in the Seattle area, up in Linwood, just north of Seattle, and have participated in the 21-day program and West Coast program, and then helping out with some mentoring.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That's nice.
Heidi asked me to help out a couple people, so just
Great,
helping out where I can.
Nice. And last but not least, Sia.
Hi, Sia in Austin, Texas here, where we had all these floods. I've been doing music and emceeing and meditation a little bit, I think. And now I'm here, so I'm happy to be here. Looking forward to what Linda has to share.
Also on the European 21 days as well.
Yeah. Yes, a European 21 days, little bit Israel's been a while.
Yeah.
Spanish once in a while, and yeah, West Coast.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm sure you're all curious to know what we have in mind. I mean, I have spoken to all of you, almost all of you, briefly anyway, but just to give you a flavor. But Wendy and I want to kind of okay. Let me just say, Wendy has. If you're not aware, Wendy has been coordinating the West Coast 21 days since last fall, and also helping. Not more than helping, like working hand in glove with me for the last how many years? I don't know. On the scheduling of presenters and all. So so we both are really ready to get help, please. And I guess, on my side, I would say that I've known that I needed to do this for a while, but it's only recently that I really felt quite dedicated to this idea. So I am ready and very actually excited about about seeing how it unfolds and having more people involved in the great joy, really, and the fulfillment of putting on these programs. So, we checked vibrations, to ask all of you to come and do this. It's really just the beginning. We hope that as I said, you'll each coordinate one program this summer, and then we'll keep going in the fall. And then again, especially in the 21 days in a row, it's going to be invaluable to have your help. And also in the fall, there's West Coast and national, we call it, going on to get simultaneously. So that, is challenging. So, all right. So just want to kind of give a kind of a big picture. What is this role? We're calling it the producer director role. And I think we all kind of have a little fun thinking of it as a national show, right? So, and then we can get into all the, things like there's casting, and then, there's all the things about it. So, but I would say that for both of us, and certainly for me, we've really grown a lot. And I think anything you do for Saj Yoga, especially on this scale, we feel Sri Mataji's attention so strongly. And I think there's some things we want to share that have helped us to do this particular role. And the first and foremost, I would say, is to follow your intuition and follow the vibrations. And for me, I mean, especially in the first year when it was sort of flying blind, it felt a bit, I would say I've never really felt Sri Mataji's presence as much as that in those days. I mean, just she was there, and she taught me to trust my intuition more than I was sometimes ready to, and has proved it in many ways, in ways that unfold in the program. So, I feel like having, and I know all of you have, jobs and do this kind of work perhaps already to some extent. But I would really say that it's important to do this work in a different way than you normally do. And that's what I've really tried to do, and is to do it in a Sahaj way, and to really not go into sort of automatic pilot with, oh, I know how to coordinate something, and here's we go, make the list and whatever we do. But no, really like be in meditation, feel the connection, feel the vibrations of things, and really stay in that mode throughout, be in that connected state. And then you will get the messages about what is the right thing to do, when is the right time to call somebody, when is not the right time to call somebody, really to that level. You won't, you'll know when you're talking to the presenters, which is one of the things you'll be doing, you'll know what to say, what not to say, how firm to be, how when to guide, when not to. All that is really part of I would say, the finesse of this role, and something that I mean, we both hope that you have experienced from us as you've been on the receiving end of this role from us these last few years, and that and we're sure that we're going to learn from you actually how to do it better as well.
We're not giving them a survey, are we? I'm not sure. I think I may be too fragile.
No. So one thing, so that's another thing that I wanted to mention is that, and see, you've always said this so much, that the preparation for the program is one of the best parts. And not only is it's so enjoyable and full of vibrations, but it's also, I think, really essential for the success of the program. Because as like, when starting from when we make the schedule and we see who's good for each role, which Wendy and I are going to continue to do in this summer and probably the fall. We'll see how that plays out, but after that, but all to, as the program is unfolding, during the session, having our attention on it. And I know you all do anyway, actually, and I know that everybody's very engaged and invested in it always. But in this role in particular, there's that extra amount of, let's say, pure attention, pure desire, focus on it that really is important for, helping to remove the obstacles and for things to work out smoothly. So that's part of the job, you could say, is that starting like a week in advance and leading up to it is to say, okay, here the program's on this topic. Let me meditate on this topic. Let me put attention on it. How can it be, really wonderful? And in that about the topic, I would say that we keep repeating. We go do the 3 channels and we do spirit and then we do the chakras and then we do some other random topics, a few. So we keep recycling them, as you know, but I feel that it keeps staying fresh. And I think the reason for that is that, we try to approach it in a fresh way every time and try to go deeper into what is the essence of the Nabi or whatever it is that is the topic, and what do the seekers, what do they need to know now, and how can that best be expressed? So I think we can again pray to Shri Mataji, please help me to discover, what is essential about this topic, what is the beauty, the richness, the essence of this topic that we need to convey to the seekers at this time. So that's part of your introspection and your preparation. So Wendy, you want to talk a little bit maybe about preparing with the presenters?
Yeah, I would the main thing I would say is that no matter how experienced a yogi is who's doing it, this is something that we've both learned from going through it. There can be someone who's done a lot of programs on and is very experienced, and it can end up being cool vibrations for them to do a program that's stretching them, that's outside of their comfort zone. That's not what they teach in their normal in-person programs. That's something, in a way, they're learning how to teach. And so it's easy to take for granted that, okay, well, let's see, she's been on the show 50,000 times. She knows what she's doing. It's still super helpful to go through it with that person. And it doesn't matter how much you've introspected on the topic. The reality is the presenters are the ones who present it. So yes, we have to have a clear vision as the person directing it so that we can support and coach and encourage, which is the role, which is great. But it's really important, especially when people are newer, but also further along, for people to realize that it's not just something you show up for half an hour before and do it. It's really, when it's really amazing, it's because the person has introspected, who's presenting, and has meditated and has understood, okay, I want to convey these things, and maybe not stick to it too strictly, but have some kind of structure or idea. And you, sometimes people who've done the show a lot of times will forget to actually introduce the topic, the first meditation. So I've now learned that now I have to say, be sure to introduce the topic, like right before. So I think the main thing that really helps us grow is to encourage the creativity of the presenters. So for them to add, that's why it's fresh, because each person, like the way Jason's going to teach something about the Vishuddhi will be completely different than how I might present it. And he might have a different understanding or be talking about different qualities of the Vishuddhi. So let the person, yes, we have our view of it, but let the person introspect and see what do they have to offer on that topic, and encourage it, and make sure that you talk to them a couple days ahead of time. I got bad about this when we were creating, Sia will tell you, it was very last minute creating of new content on the West Coast and got a little bit crazy. But usually like 2 days ahead, you can call the person or set up a time to talk to them and just say, gee, do you have anything in mind? What do you have in mind for how do you want to present this? And go over it with them. And then if you think there's something important that they're missing out, you can mention it, or, right, Linda? I mean,
Yeah.
Linda's very good about this. A couple days ahead of time, and then make sure that they know, especially if they haven't done it very much, that they need to be clear at the time that they come to do it. I had only one time, I have to be proud of myself on that, but I showed up one time on my knees. It wasn't my fault. It was just what had happened during the day. And I had to just basically beg Srimataji to help me be clear enough to be a channel, right? So, I mean, in the end, we plan something. We plan something and then surrender it. You can suggest or just say, when I present, because we've all presented, I prepare what I'm going to say, some teaching points. I prepare some teaching points. I clear myself out really well to make sure I'm clear, and then I surrender it to Srimataji, which is what I do, and I just go, this might all be a bunch of nonsense. So whatever you want to say, please may I be a channel for that. And I don't know. There's probably other steps, Linda, that you wanted to mention.
Well, okay. That's great for right now. I think that's wonderful. You've been on the receiving end of this, so you sort of know. But I guess what we were thinking is that, you may not have been sort of conscious of how we were doing it. Like, oh, well, that was a nice conversation with Linda, but you weren't really thinking, well, what did she do? And how did she, approach it, right? So, now is when you're going to go, wait, what do I do? So if you can, and okay, we're going to set it up so that, well, actually, we have to see which programs you are available for. That's why we need your availability, for whether it's presenting or producing, directing as soon as possible. If you haven't given it yet, fill out that form, because then, and I guess, we'll have to see, it's only 9 programs this summer. So some of you may only be directing or only producing or also presenting. Let's just see what we need. But so there will be an opportunity for us to chat. Wendy or I would talk to you beforehand to kind of go over what the topic is for that day that you're going to be producing, directing, what, the vision is as far as, like we, just to give you a sort of initial briefing on it, let's say. And that's where you can, ask any questions too about how to go about things. But so, as you may imagine, I have made up a document that
all on her own, because I knew it would be more perfect if I left myself out of it, for sure.
And Sudeep has a question.
It's called a spontaneous document, right?
Yeah, it was. Well, I meditated first. Let's put it that way.
Well, I think that's probably going to answer my question because I was just going to
What
ask
do I
you,
do? Yeah, yeah. Okay, right. Okay. I
like,
knew you would sort of want that.
sort of a timeline of all the steps that we need to go through.
Yeah. So,
Linda,
yeah.
are we going to, we also mentioned the possibility that for the very first time you run a dry run, one of us might be there with you. I think that's helpful, and just sort of be quiet in the background and step in a little bit if needed, if you need
Absolutely.
to.
Yeah. So
Would
this
that
summer, yes, absolutely. This summer is like, and even in the fall, if you're not doing it this summer, some of you are not. But when you do it for the first time, either Wendy or I will definitely be there to like jump in, let's say, if needed, or to answer any questions as the dry run or the program unfold. We'll be there, one of us. So so that's that. But so the thing is, there's the sort of that we want. I didn't show you the document right away because we wanted to kind of give you the feeling of it, right? And
She listened to me, and I was saying, well, if it was me, I wouldn't give a document at all. And she's like, yes, we know.
So, but same thing. Okay, 2 years ago when the Europeans did 21 days in all the different languages, I made a very detailed uh, 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 set of tips for presenters, which I don't think I've ever shared here. It's sort of interesting that I haven't, but anyway, I made it for them. And so that's there. And, there is, I do want to say there is that balance where, there's, if all this, do this, don't do that, do this, it can be like stultifying and you could just freeze. So, and I have seen that happen a few times when presenters are new, that they're, they get a little uptight and that it's not free flowing. So, this summer we're not going to have, I don't think, any new presenters for you guys to work with. We're going to have only people who've been on, before. But if and when you do work with some, because it's important though, usually to keep bringing new yogis in because that keeps it fresh. Also, we like to keep doing that. So when you're working with somebody who is new-ish, then you have to balance that. Here's all the do's and you don't want to do all the do's and don'ts. You have to see what kind of personality they are. Some people really need that and feel much better and comfortable with it, and other people will go like, ah. So, and sometimes, as Wendy and I have found out, you don't find that out until they get on the program, and you wish you hadn't told them so many things not to do or to do. Anyway, so. All right, so let me share this with you. Let's see, here we go.
Linda, are we going to have any new content programs over the summer, or is that in the fall?
There's a couple new ones, yes, but they're not, they're pretty basic, I think. Yeah. All right, so this is kind of a summary of what we just talked about, these initial bullet points. So that we can skip. And by the way, I figure we're not going to cover everything today. So we can plan on meeting again. Maybe next Tuesday was a good day for everybody, I think. So, but in the meantime, I will share this document with you and you can go through it yourselves. So this is one document. I will show you too that I've made a folder that has this document, this one that we're going to look at. It also has this one. This is this detailed one that, for the presenters, set up the area, the lighting, there's what to wear, like down to that. Okay. So that's there in this folder, and I'm going to give everybody access to that folder as a viewer. The other ones you can look at, but they're not really as relevant, but as this one that we're going to go through. This one is the one I just made. All right. So then there is something which you may not have really known what we call it, but it's called the title, description, and quote for every program. And that, in the prod group, for every program, I put that first, like and we have this whole document that looks like this that we're just about to create for this is the title, this is the description, and then here's the quote, right? And so we're about to do that or it's not done yet for this session, but it will be. That's one of Shubhata's jobs. So that is something that so we usually don't post it until after the previous program is finished to avoid confusion in the prod group, but you might want to grab that in order to prepare the presenters before you talk to them. It's important for them to know what that is for that program. So sometimes you'll wind up sending that to them in advance. So this is the link to that here. Then there is the schedule, which looks like this. I don't know if you've all seen this before, but this has, the program day, it has the date, it has the topic, and then I'll fill these other things in too. And then it has the lineup, you could say, of the MC, the Meditation League 1 and 2, the musician, and then sometimes we need an extra presenter in case the musician doesn't join the Q&A or whatever, for whatever reason. We like to have 3 in the Q&A. So this will be filled in, and like it is like we just had for the last session, looking like this, etc. So this will be done by the time you get to doing this. And also, oh, by the way, yes, it has also, if you keep scrolling over, the tech roles. So you may not be aware of these, and maybe I'll add something to the document. I just realized about this. But the tech one is the host of the Zoom meeting, and that's usually Emilio or Pavan, sometimes Sudeepa, or Anuj. And they open the meeting and they make sure that if they're spammers, they kick them out. And they kind of are like the kind of I don't know. I just feel that the importance of their vibrations to hold the meeting in place. It's kind of like the anchor, you could say, of the meeting on Zoom. And then the Tech 2, is the one who shares the PowerPoints and the music, and they're the ones that join us in the dry run. So you need to know who the Tech 2 is on the day that you're producing directing, because you need to make sure that they're fine with the time of the dry run and just make sure they remember that they're on and all, because they often sign up way in advance. And then we have the Tech 3s are the ones who do they match the seekers up in the breakout rooms and do the announcements and all that sort of thing. And you're not going to have to worry about that at all. Mostly you're going to interact with the Tech 2s. Okay. Then, so the link to that is here, the playbook, and you'll have, this is a link which is just getting created now. We're going to do that. We'll have it ready soon. And then for every program, you've probably never seen this before, there are folders. So here is 2025 session 4A, and here's day 64, which is the first day. And in here, but there aren't any folders here right now, but I can show you for session 3. There are, there's the through gate mantras, there's the video, there's the PowerPoint, and there's the music. And then sometimes there's other things like, oh yeah, see, I put this in here because something happened with the musician, and I almost played it, but I didn't. So that's the sort of thing that you have to be able to do, and we'll help you to begin with. But like if something happens with the musician, then it's good to have a backup video to play on that day. All right.
On the West Coast, 21 days, I would say 1 out of every 3 presenters or musicians had something happen at the last minute and they couldn't come. And that's part of coping with directing and producing it. There are these last minute people get, sick or something happens. So we're going to go over that next time, right?
Well, we'll see how far we get. Yeah, probably next time. Yeah. So we're getting, yeah. Let's see. So, okay, just to show you that there are these folders with all the stuff in it. So what you're going to do is you're going to, you're going to get viewer access to those. I don't know. This is something I have to talk to Pavan about. Sangeeta, are you still there? I'm not sure exactly how to work this in the sense that I don't think we can give everybody editing rights to these things. I'm not really sure how to do it. Maybe just for that particular PowerPoint, we can give you editing rights or something.
Could we make a copy that's a separate copy
Yeah.
and they can play around with it on their own and not be able to change it universally throughout all the programs? That kind of thing?
Yeah, I'm thinking that what you can do is you can download, like you'll have viewer access. So like you can download the PowerPoint and then you can you can play with it on your own computer. You could also upload it into here and just put your initials at the end of it or something. So but we have to I don't know, we have to be careful with this. We had a big disaster a couple months ago where we still can't figure out how it happened, but we lost the PowerPoints and videos for like 30 or 40 programs. And it was on one of the, somebody who was helping me, her computer, I don't know what happened. We still don't know what happened. So anyway, it's, you know, the negativity, this is something, you know, the negativity does try to creep in and, you know, trouble us. So that can happen. And we have to be pretty vigilant about it. So I'm sorry, I'm only realizing some of these things as we get into this, and we'll figure out a solution.
But you could, I mean, have some sort of backup of all of them, right?
Yeah,
Somewhere
yeah,
else.
yeah.
And then the person, so I assume you would make changes only when you find out something in the dry run, right? So kind of last minute, isn't it?
No, beforehand too.
Or even beforehand.
Like, well, let's take a look. I don't know.
Like sometimes you'll decide that you're going to change the amount of time for the different meditations for different reasons, right, Linda?
Yeah, well, that would be in the playbook.
I think what CI is coming up is during the dry run, we may need to make changes.
We do, yes. Also,
and CI maybe you need access, right, to do that during that time.
Well, or that's what I was thinking, because in the dry run, you've got the Media 2, right? Media 2 text. So if he has the rights.
Tech 2 has the rights.
Tech 2 can make changes, yeah, for sure. And I mean, maybe what we can, also what we can do is that you can, if you make your own version of the PowerPoint and we have a backup of the original, then we can use yours, perhaps. You know, that's another way. Because like I don't know an example, but like sometimes, you know, we use the chakra chart or we don't, right? Or we where we have the silent meditation slide. Depends, varies sometimes. Or when you do the foot soak, you know, we can adjust it. They have the silent meditation before the foot soak or after the foot soak. Or, you know, sometimes there are programs where like we might want to have let's see, I don't know. I mean, where we might do a mantra or not, you know, or we might want to pull in the slide about the chakra or not, you know, or make a new slide about with a new different mantra, you decide. And this can happen when you talk to the presenter, that they say, oh, I'd really like to do Lakshmi Vishnu with this or something. So then it's nice. I think the way it probably will, next time we talk, I'll figure this out, and probably you'll have your own version of it with your initials at the end or something, and then we can use that and have a backup. So something like that.
And maybe what we could do is send them a link to their own version that they can play around with in advance.
Yeah.
And then we can feed that, put that version, have a different playbook that is for everyone, for the group of people who are, you know, we could have that set, and then we just have that for the show, but it doesn't affect universally the other one somehow, you know.
Yeah,
Does it?
we'll make a backup of the playbook, and then whatever you do to it, we can always go back to the original.
So
They
it's
could all share that together, right? A playbook, which they would do their own program on. They
Yeah,
could share.
they could have their own version
we
of the
can
playbook.
just have a backup folder in each one.
Yeah,
And if
yeah.
you're making changes, just backup is anyway there.
Yeah, is there.
I think that's the simplest way.
Yeah. So we'll make the playbook and then we'll make a backup of it, and then you'll be able to use it. But then if you make a mistake, we'll always have the backup to revert to. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So I mean, yeah, so there is, you do want to look at the PowerPoint in advance and maybe make adjustments when you talk to the presenters or during the dry run. The playbook, like sometimes we adjust the timings, or we say, oh well, that's, or we find a mistake in it, very often.
We have a special musician who likes to have a little bit longer, like Vlad.
Yeah.
And so we shorten the meditation before and after.
Right, exactly. All these things, are quite adjustable during the dry run or before, so that's something that you can, definitely do. And then the Q&A, right? So that's another thing. These questions is something that you need to look at, see what you think about them. Maybe you like them, maybe you don't. Maybe, what you probably noticed that what we usually do is ask the presenters if they have any suggestions or tweak them or what order or whatever. So this is something to kind of, another piece of what you're going to do is to finalize these, normally finalize in the dry run. Yeah. And
it helps to have the presenters look at it in advance so they're not caught flat-footed.
Mhm.
Like I one time didn't look at it, and there was this question about being your own disciple, and somehow I didn't really know what that was. And of course, I was asked first for my feedback. But yeah, so even the most sort of people who've been around a while, it's helpful to have that to sort of mull it over. And like if you're supposed to share, oftentimes you're supposed to share an experience you had with something like your spirit or joy. And you might want to introspect on it. The presenter might want to introspect and think of a good example of that in their life, or sift it out from hundreds of examples. Well, which one am I going to pick it in advance, right, Linda?
Yeah, definitely. And you want to encourage the presenters to think of a personal, not just keep on lecturing, but to make it personal and relevant. Yeah. I just want to say, I just noticed that Shraddha from Norway has joined us. Shraddha, maybe I won't, if you want to turn on your video, it'd be nice, but I understand if you don't want to because it's the middle of the night for her. She's in Norway.
Hi, hello everyone.
Okay. Let me stop sharing.
Hi, Shraddha.
Hi.
She's pretty 24 hours, so it's all good.
You clean up good, even though it's the middle of the night. You look fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you joined, and this is it can be a lonely road when you're the only one doing it. So I think that, I'm really glad you're among your whatever your colleagues here, let's say, and
Yeah.
right, yeah. So so glad that you can join. Shraddha's been really being the anchor of running the European 21 days since March.
The anchor, the ship, the sails,
Everything.
the staff.
Yeah, the motor.
Everything.
Yes. So welcome.
Thank you, Auntie. Yeah. Oh, actually, I slept very early and then I managed to wake up.
I've heard nothing but your name for weeks now, so months now. So now I get to see your face, and that's so nice to make that
Yeah,
connection.
same here, Auntie. Yours, I also hear always your name, Wendy from Auntie Linda. So it's so nice to meet you, actually. Never one. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any words of wisdom you want to share with everybody?
No, that's fine. Yeah.
Maybe don't do it by yourself. I can add that.
All right. All right. It is coming up to an hour, so let's maybe do, and I think, this kind of stuff can get a bit tedious. So, I'm gonna.
I wanted to add, maybe it's good to watch the video as well, right? And the video of Shimataji.
Oh, definitely. Yes. The video for that day. Absolutely.
You can find that in the playbook, right?
In the playbook, right. And if you're not, I think everybody's aware, but yeah, it's there. And in fact, if it's not there, it'll be your job to make sure it is there. Yeah, there. So
then the presenter can make tie-ins if they watch it too. Like you can watch it, but if they watch it, they may decide to do some teaching points that reinforce what Mother's talking about.
Yeah, it's very nice. Or when you introduce it, can be too. So you know what? I just want to maybe just say all this, I'm going to give you the overview of what's in here. That there's, what you post in the prod group and those details. There's coaching the presenters and just making sure they're aware, and then all these topics. This is kind of what we talked about already a little bit, but in a little more detail. So I'm going to ask you all to review this before we meet next time. There's leading the dry run, which, there may probably more things that as we get into it, we can add. This is like a living document that we'll keep adding to and updating or revising. There's what to do before and during the program, and after the program. Well, which is just write a nice message to everybody in the group. So, but that's one of the beautiful parts of it too. So I just maybe want to stop sharing now and just ask if anybody wants to share anything or ask anything. Yes.
I do have a question. I feel very foggy on the tech roles. There must be a document that explains that.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah, I can put that in there. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm. Actually, Sangeeta can put it there.
In the folder, no, in the
Deepa is a very good person to document things. So I always look forward to Sudeepa's very nice in writing, and like Auntie, you are two similar, very similar because
yeah, we're both Capricorns now.
Yes, I always appreciate the way she writes and everything.
Well, don't you have something already written up on the tech roles? Simple thing. You do.
Yeah,
I know
I
there
think
is.
we have a really comprehensive document. We can just
share
probably
that.
shorten
No,
it
they don't
for
need
this.
comprehensive.
Yeah, we can shorten it for this document.
Just a short thing, short. And you can put it in, we can, anyway, we'll put that. Andre, did you want to say something?
Yeah. So can you? I wanted a couple of things. So first, obviously, this is no small transition, right? Because I'm talking about me, right? That's what I know best. Being a presenter is really individual, intense experience. It's a as you said, and both you and Wendy emphasized this, and it's not that this other role lacks that part, but that's just a little part of it, right? So where I often sort of look for signals from higher up from what should come out and how should come out. And I try to really not involve the mind at all, if possible, and have only foot solid trigger revelations, or FTRs, as I write it to you usually.
FTRs, I gotta write that down.
Yeah. But it's really a one with one journey, basically, and through the program as well, right? Because this being virtual, you have no but all you can pay attention is through yourself, right? If not at yourself. While this is this other combo is really a completely different version, and it's probably enough of a transition that certainly in the beginning, maybe the only thing that we want really new for a particular evening is the producer, Everything else should be,
Yeah,
very experienced, would run pretty much by itself.
Right.
And the essentially the producer just develops muscle memory, right? It doesn't actually need to produce extra little twirls of flow. Just flow in the middle. That's good enough, right? Because everybody is so that's only one very new thing at the table per session, right? Obviously, newish or new producer, new presenter.
No,
that's gonna be
That's not happening.
spectacular either way. Let's just say.
No, Andre. I don't know if maybe you didn't hear, but we're not going to. We're going to only involve experienced presenters this summer, and so we're trying to keep it as simple and tried and true on the other fronts, and only change one variable. Right?
Yeah. No, so that's. Secondly, I wanted to ask you, because how many presenters you had to talk to about how many sessions, both you and Wendy. How close was their spontaneous production to your intuition? And I realized that your intuition might have never been totally, and it might have been different from person depending on whom you might have pushed it to more crystallized, or fuzzy luminous was enough, and that was good enough. How was your experience of how, we basically both see the same thing and then, let it go or whatever? I always wanted to ask you that.
Well, I'll tell you. I don't know. I mean, we're not going to get into it because there's so many ways to answer that. I mean, there's been how many? Let's see. We've done 400 programs, right? Okay. And I would say in every single program, something is not as I would have expected. Probably, pretty much. I mean, sometimes I'm totally delighted by what emerges that was never discussed or and sometimes you should hear me screaming at the screen.
It's live television.
I'm really sorry to have triggered that, but anyway. No, but I'm talking about the discussion, like in the dry run, not actually in the program. I realize the program, it's under whatever has to happen, who can change destiny. But in the dry run, like how the click happens in what we talk whenever we talk about it.
I mean, my feeling is that during the dry run, what you're really trying to do as the director producer is make everyone feel comfortable, everyone feel heard, everyone, you go and you review people's ins and out times and make sure they know, hey, and that's the thing that often doesn't happen. The ins and out times, they can be a little bit creative, but the idea is that they know when they're supposed to end, so that we sort of stay on time. Because the reason why we try to stay on time is if you go too far past the end, people don't stay for the questions. Basically, at least on the West Coast, they don't.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many reasons. How many times have you heard both of us talking about what I call, the Mariadas of the program, the timings, which is on the one hand, like could feel like a straitjacket, but on the other is extremely important to respect everyone in the program and know that you're just one piece of it, right? So if you take too much time, then somebody else is going to have less time and not be able to do what their part of the program was. So it's that's one of the hardest things, is to help. I mean, we can get into this more, but what I think Wendy and I both do is try to coach when we talk to the presenter initially, is to distill down what it is that you're going to say. Because I mean, depending on the person, some people have no idea what to say and then you want to build it up. And some people have billions of things to say and you want to distill it down. So, right. So it's, or some people, sometimes some presenters, just are not sure what to say or have I mean, I would also, some of the most fulfilling discussions I have are with the yogis about what they're going to do in the program, because it can be such a beautiful conversation. But there's also the practicality of, okay, well, but you only have 20 minutes, right? And so then that's where, the PowerPoint might, and anyway, how we sometimes, well, maybe we won't do the mantra in the first part. We'll do it in the second part, because that way there's less time, and how to make sure, one of the most we've realized important things is to have enough silence.
Thank you. I was just going to say that we didn't emphasize it. One of the things you're going to emphasize when you're directing it, and you're getting this team working together, everyone's working as one, which is a super collective thing. And then you're just like, but remember, the main thing is people need to feel it, experience it, go quiet, and have silent time. Have the silence where we're quiet for 4 or 5 minutes and they can touch it. And you're gonna have to be, instead of you being the person who's being asked or begged, please have some silence. You're going to see what that feels like to try to get, because what Mark always says is the second person is there to do nothing, more or less, to pretty much be quiet. But and it's not that you do nothing, like you do something, but you do have more quiet time. And if they're inexperienced, they're going to think, oh, I need to do a big thing, instead of just guide the group and make sure it's quiet and give quiet time, which is what second meditation is, more or less.
Yeah. So
it's tricky, right, Linda?
Absolutely. And like I would say the big picture vision for you as the director in this case is the goal of the program is for the seekers to have an experience and to get silent, to get to Sahasrara. That is the goal of every single program. And in fact, we don't keep increasing the difficulty level as we go a little bit. We have mantras and all, but essentially, after the first 21 days, we stay pretty much at that intermediate level, low intermediate. We don't go advanced. So it's not about the knowledge. Though we want to have to keep it interesting, right? Little nuggets and keep it interesting and deep. The growth in the seekers is in how deep they can go during the program. And so that is where it's really challenging, because many presenters lose sight of that. And it's important to try to help them in whatever way they need to learn how to either, as I said, restrict what they're saying, or just, also realize that it's their connection that's going to take people to Sahasrara. So that's the point, is you be connected and take them there. So, that's really the magic sauce of the program, is that focus, right?
The way Vikram does it is there is a one single slide survey at the end of the session, because he runs his own other
I know.
sessions of this, right?
Yeah.
And I very occasionally do one of those when he's run out of people. And there is a one slide with how was your meditation experience today? Great, good, okay, not really. This is no meditation. Like 4 or 5 choices, and then he posts the cumulative percentages, right? Obviously, the people in the session see it on the screen, but he posts that get not him, the equivalent of Tech One,
right?
In this case, posts it on the group after each session.
Yeah.
So that in my humble opinion is a great reminder of what's the goal numero uno, right? And it's just a one slide. It takes literally 15 seconds, 20 seconds max to have it on the screen and people to click on something. Obviously, not everybody's going to click, but the reality is, in those sessions, when you're talking anything between half a dozen to 2 dozen new people, the vast majority click on something. So
okay.
The response rate is quite good.
That's good. Okay. Anybody else wants to ask or share?
That's a poll, Vikram.
What?
The Zoom poll, I think that's what.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a one slide Zoom poll.
Okay. Anybody else want to say anything?
Come on, Carrie. We've never been at anything without saying something. Don't break that tradition.
The only thing I have to say is I'm really proud of Linda and Wendy for the self-care that they are taking on, because they have done such an amazing job over the years, and it's really time for us to share, in the work that's being done, so that they feel like they're totally part of this, but some of the the legwork and the things that take a lot of detail and a lot of time and a lot of attention can be spread out amongst us. So bravo to Linda and Wendy for all the work, but also just that realization that they're totally 100% like attention on these programs, but some of these details just take so much, making phone calls and listening to videos to see what, there's just a lot to it. So that's all I have to say about that.
Thank you, dear.
And what happens when we have more of us doing it is the vibrations will improve.
Yeah.
Because it's pleasing to Mother when we're collective.
Yeah, I want to second what Carrie said and also add that obviously we only see a fraction of what Linda and Wendy have been doing and many others have been doing. We only see a little bit, maybe the phone call with Linda, which until today I thought I was specially talking an hour to me. I'm joking. And you're talking to everybody an hour. No, I'm joking. But actually these phone calls were not just informative. It was in the phone calls so much was born. And on top of it, it gives you the confidence to go into the meeting also with enthusiasm. I think that's something we underestimate. It wasn't just, okay, this is the topic, this is what we could be talking about. It was, now I don't only have the self-confidence to do it, but I actually have the drive. I want to do this like tomorrow because I have all this to share. And that turn was huge. And I think that gives the vibrations and the joy in the program. So yes, there's a lot to be done before. And I also love how you say you have to always don't think of yourself, but put yourself into the shoes of the seekers. What do they need to hear? What do they need at the moment? I think the moment you do that, it takes a lot of pressure off and it gives you a lot of direction. And yeah, I mean, I think a reason why this has been working so well in America is because of you all, because it's not an easy job. You had to be sometimes firm, even if you didn't want to be firm, but it needed a firm hand. If it doesn't have structure, it's all over the place. And Shraddha can second that for sure. In Europe, if you don't hold the reins, sometimes a little tight, it's a chaos, because especially with yogis, everyone's a director, everyone has ideas, and we all want to share something. And it's the hardest thing to keep everybody in line, but at the same time make them feel so respected and so welcome and so loved. And that's a very special skill to have. So we're very blessed and lucky to be part of this.
Just so everyone knows, Isha somehow did not open that group and didn't see the invite. And it's like, oh my God, I missed, and didn't see a few things. So she really wanted to be here and she's asking for the link. And I'm going to send it to her so she can come in and see a few faces before we all go soon.
Okay.
You all know Isha? She's from Seattle area and she's just fantastic at helping with all kinds of things. Let's see if she makes it to us.
Okay. Anybody else want to share anything? Just impressions or anything?
Auntie, probably you already know this, but if it helps, for the PowerPoint, there is a version history where you can see the revision of the PowerPoint. So just
Yeah.
It disappeared. They disappeared. The good news is because somehow West Coast 21 Days became separated, we have, except for the first couple of the first 21 day PowerPoints, we have some version slides right? We have some version of that.
Well, not always, but yeah. Anyway, Shubdu, it was really mysterious. It not only anyway, I don't want to get into it. I can explain more to you later. But these PowerPoints were deleted by the owner. They were like gone.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just crazy. So
Okay.
yeah, we've been restoring them, and we might still have to do that for the summer session. We haven't even looked at it yet, but we will. It'll be yeah.
Well, Ethan, I think we're winding down, aren't we?
All right. I guess so. Anybody else want to say anything?
I'll just ask, will you share in the group, in the WhatsApp group, a link so that we can find everything that was talked about tonight?
Yes.
Everything will be consolidated. Okay, great.
Yeah. I'm going to give you access to that folder I showed you, and that will contain this document that we looked at, which you can then, please do go through it and check out the links and just, see whatever it is that you don't understand. So we have 9 programs this summer, and I'm thinking the first one, everybody can come to the dry run, if you want to. I can, or Wendy and I both get whatever, we can lead that one. And then I think we have 8 people who are ready to do it this summer because other people have like summer travel or whatever. So among those of you who are available this summer, we can divvy up the rest of them. And then, but you're going to be, of course, you've been to so many dry runs, but you haven't been to them with the same lens as this, right? At all. So, yeah. And I mean, Shraddha can testify that, I sat with you for how many programs to begin with? I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8? I don't know.
Yeah, I think the 8 programs and also when we started second session, then I asked Auntie, can you be also in one of the program again?
Well,
Yeah.
Linda did, Shraddha, if it makes you feel any better, Linda did this thing where she went off for 3 weeks to Cabela and was she tried to be present, which was, I have to commend her for it, but she just went away before we started 21 Days West Coast. And I really didn't know where things were. And, it worked out, but, I mean, it's fun. It's fun, and you get to see all the things that are behind the scene that you're not involved with and do it. And it's really great. I'm vamping because Isha's been having this whole conversation with me. I'm really not in that group. And I was like, you really are, but could you please just come in? She's not behaving herself. I think she's not good. So I don't know. I guess, I told her we're having a meeting next week.
Yeah. So, I hope next Tuesday is also possible for everybody. It seemed like Tuesday was the best day this week anyway. So hopefully next Tuesday can also be, and we can also record it again. So I think if you all read through the document, the one that, we started going through, and come with any questions, and then we can go through it again together and just see whatever else you need to understand. And if you all will fill out your availability, tonight or tomorrow, then we can put the schedule together. And then next week, we can decide who's going to be on which days. Ideally, would be good. Okay.
Can you remind me where this availability to fill out is?
Oh, no, see, I just did it with you.
Okay. Because I'm special.
You're special.
You're a special case.
I need special treatment. That's right.
No.
Otherwise, it's not working. Okay, good.
You might have seen it. It's a Google sheet that lists all the dates and times. This time you didn't have to do it. So
I think I did share the sheet with you.
yeah, it's okay. You don't have to do it anyway. She's already signed up for the first day. So
okay.
You share it. True. You did.
Yeah.
It was in the producer WhatsApp.
Correct.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Well, it was great being with everybody, and looking forward to this exciting new step we're taking. Feeling really great about it. So, any last words, Wendy?
Amen. And it happens. It couldn't have happened any sooner. I mean, I'm so glad. I mean, I think the more people who are involved, the better everything goes and the more protected the whole thing experiences from the negativity. And that's what we need.
And maybe it will end up in, more programs. I mean, more seekers somehow too. So maybe we can give a bandan for that. Just, I don't know. Because the numbers have kind of gone down. So,
No, they haven't actually.
no? They
No.
haven't? Okay.
No, I mean, miraculously, they're steady at 80 to 100 every program.
Okay, then. Well, maybe they'll increase somehow because
It
they're
doesn't hurt, of course, but
us. Yeah. Okay. Finding more seekers. I just started another meetup and I'm thinking about starting two more. And one of these meetups, I actually took over somebody was dropping the organizing role. It was one of Vikram's. And there were 2,166 people on this meetup. And all day I've just been I don't know, I've been in awe. 2,166 people. Where are they? Where are they all?
yeah, that's one
We
of the
know
weird-
where they are.
yeah.
We know all the variations, but
Yeah.
The reality is we started during COVID, and now it's no longer COVID. And the fact is, many of the people are choosing to go to in-person meetings, and that was always the goal, to get them to meetings, to get them to pujas, to get them in person.
Yeah.
So even the people who aren't coming to, every day to these programs, they're coming, a lot of them. They're involved and the process is happening, right, Linda? That was the whole idea. There'd be a flow between programs that are in person and 21 days.
Well, they mutually support each other. But you know what I was realizing the other day is that, you know how when you do an in-person meeting and it becomes established, and then you have like a core of people who come regularly, and they provide like there's one talk where she talks about, the depth of the river is flowing. There's a deep river flowing in that meeting. And then anybody who comes can sense the depth of the river and they can easily flow into it. And so what I've seen nowadays is that our 80 to 100 people, about 30% of them are people who've been coming for 2, 3, or even the 4th year. And they still find value in it, and their vibrations are strong. And so plus the yogis provide that core or axis of the meeting, that depth. And then it's easier for new people. So it's kind of has that same kind of complexion or makeup as an in-person meeting, but it's just ongoing online. So, yeah.
Very wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, very true. Feels very true. Yeah. And with these meetups, I don't care. I just feel, just quickly, they join, they see Srimanaji's photograph, they read a little bit, and maybe they dance off into another world for several years, but still they've gotten just that little spark.
Yeah.
That's worth it.
I mean, we've given realization to so many people. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was listening to a talk where mother said, you don't have to worry about it. You're planting a seed. Give them realization and then don't worry about it. Yeah. And we've all had experiences where we run into someone 10 years later who just was at the programs and then went away. And they're like, oh, it's so great to see you. I meditate every day. I have Srimanaji's picture. I foot soak. And you're like,
yeah,
really?
Yeah.
All right. I know.
But you don't know how much influence is happening in the world and you surrender it to mother, and then mother she wakes them up when they need to be awake. Oh. It's like she's got extra powers or channels, or I don't know what it is that we are, little naughties, or probably something much smaller than a naughty, but something that gets away.
A naughty, not a naughty.
You're the naughty.
Naughty. Between a naughty and a naughty.
And it's, we don't know how she's going to work through these people, and it's fortunately we don't have to worry. I remember when I got pregnant, I was so glad I didn't have to know how to make a baby inside me. It happened, and I think we don't need to know exactly what happens to all the seekers because mother's taking care of them. She's
yeah. And the more of us that are doing this, that that just keeps all of our spirits up.
Yeah, yeah. And I think, I mean, for just, the you'll see there's a lot of little things that go into making every program. And so I think, as Carrie mentioned, it's sort of been getting to us a little bit. So it's time for us to keep our excitement up about the program. Our enthusiasm is we kind of need this underpinning of help. So we really, really need it now and appreciate it so much.
To be honest, Linda's the one who's being very brave because it's hard. You've done such an amazing job. You've steered the ship. You've taken, I am very capable of being detail oriented, but I tend to focus on the big strokes. And we're lucky to have Linda here minding all of it, all the big strokes, and also so much TLC on all every little detail. And it's hard to give that up because, maybe someone will do it different. But I think the idea here is that we want a creativity, like a flow of ideas, a flow of inspiration. So you all probably have some amazing ideas and things to add, and that'll just make everything even better. And then Linda will be able to, rest a little bit and take care of herself, which is, Isha, turn your camera on. Yay. I've been talking you up. I don't know if you can hear me.
Oh, hi, Auntie. Sorry, my camera is not.
Oh, no, you're not getting away with that. You've got to turn your camera on. I've been talking about how helpful you've been and how resourceful you are and how glad we are to have you involved in this.
Thank you, Auntie. Let me give me a few minutes. I just entered home. I'm going to just try and log in from my laptop. And maybe the camera will work from there.
It's one of the techiest people I know, so I know there's a conspiracy here that we're not seeing your face.
No.
Everybody's seen her on the program, though.
Oh, right. We've been on quite a bit now, so people know what you look like.
Yeah.
Well.
All right. Well, I kind of don't want to go past an hour and a half-ish.
This is how I feel at the end of, the national program. I can just stay on there until they kick me off. I feel the vibrations, I was like, do I really have to go be by myself? He's asleep because he has to get up in the middle of the night. So I'm by myself. And, I don't want to leave you all. And isn't that a nice thing to have? Isn't that like the best thing to know you have your peeps and they make you feel good and you can get together and, I don't know, share the vibrations.
Absolutely.
It is a good thing. Well, this is tremendous, big change, huge. And yes, thank you to Srimataji for trusting us and bringing us into it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, hi, Isha.
So we're ending, and you're making an incredible entrance right when we're exiting.
Okay, now I'm all set. Camera and audio both work. Sorry for that, and I still don't see the group, Auntie. I don't know if there's another Risha you've added. I don't have that group on my end at all.
Oh my God! All right, actually, what happened just an hour before the program. I don't know if you saw it, but Shubhada Kumar left the group. And I realized that instead of adding Shubhada Sharma, I didn't realize that was her name. I had added Manoj's daughter to the group. So I called Shubhada Sharma and I said, "Why did you leave?" And she said, "What are you talking about? I didn't leave."
I never got there.
Oh my God. All right, Isha. I don't think I know any other Isha, but I will look into it.
Okay.
Or I'll send you the link to join the group. How about?
Why don't you, yes, do that. And then she can just come in.
All right.
That would be great. Thank you.
All right.
I don't see any Isha in the group, Auntie.
Yeah, if you go down below, it's all there. If you go below all the names and you go down to just the phone numbers with names, Isha's there. I don't know which Isha is.
I think there is a Isha Malakar. It's not.
The number with 91, which is India number.
Yeah, she's from India. She's from India.
Okay, you did it, Linda. You added. See, Linda decided she can make mistakes. This is unheard of. I'm so proud of you.
I'm sure she worked really hard to pick this one.
She did. She went out of her way. She said, I know, I'll just do this little mistake and
Yeah,
everyone.
she planted that. So to make a point.
I see a 9-1 India number. I'm like,
You're right. There is. I have somebody like that in my group. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's true. All right.
She also helps out with online programs, so that's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's a recording of, the talking and stuff of this program that your brother Mark made. So we can share it with you. And then there's documents that you're going to be sent to the correct phone number. We're going to add you, and then it'll be all put in the group. And then you can read it, and it's your kind of stuff. It's so many details. You're going to be in heaven.
Great. I'm really looking forward to it, Auntie.
All right. Yes, I have Isha Tiwari. I don't even know if that's your last name. Is that your last name?
It is.
Oh, okay. All right. But anyway, I have another Isha. Okay. Sorry. I will add you.
Mystery solved.
You didn't miss anything in the group yet, though. So.
Good. Okay, great.
All right. And I will be posting whatever we went through today, and plus there'll be a recording. So, all right. Well, I think we should get going as much as we could put some music on, and that way we'd feel like it was, we could just hang out. But
And meditate.
Right.
We need to foot soak.
All right. All right. Thanks everybody so much.
FDRs. We need some more of Andre's FDRs, which are inspirations while foot soaking. Just so you know, FDR is the name of one of our most famous presidents, Franklin.
No, FTR. If it's T, trigger.
Oh, T. Oh, I get it. Okay, FTR. Okay, I corrected my notes, Andre. You've now been immortalized in my notes.
It's like foot soak trigger realizations. Is that
Revelations?
Revelations. Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay, I was trying to noodle it out. Okay.
Yeah, because Andre says, "Yeah, I got an FTR," and so I know what it is now.
All right.
It sounds like you have had an aneurysm or something, but I'm sure it's good.
Triggered realization.
No.
But not a thought. Not a thought.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, good night.
Enjoy.
Bye, Mataji.
Bye.